Hey guys, I know I've been gone for a while. Well, I tried to make like a YouTube channel. Probably made like 3 videos and then I stopped. I wasn't going to be consistent, but now I'm feeling kind of inspired and I kind of want to keep making them. So I'm going to do a story time on my pregnancy and my labor and delivery. So if you're interested in this video, keep on watching. So let's get right to the story. So last year around, when was it? August, I got pregnant and I've been with my boyfriend for about like 5 years. We weren't planning on having a baby, but we knew we wanted kids in the future. My baby now is 2 months old. Her name is Ava. Hi, Mama. Are you smiling? I'm feeding her right now. But anyway, so at the time, so I'm a hairstylist and I rent a booth part-time. And I've always liked doing hair, but that's a whole different thing. At the time, I was like, you know what? I really want to like grow in my career, and I've always had a passion for teaching. So I got a job at Paul Mitchell as an educator, and I was commuting all the way to San Jose. It was an hour away. It was so freaking far. So I did part-time there, and I did part-time at the shop. So I was working 6 days a week, which was so freaking much. Like, yeah, I worked at the shop. Like, sometimes I would work till like freaking 10, or just depending on the person, because I have clients that have hella freaking hair, and I do a lot of color corrections. So the majority of the time I end up working like super late. But I was working so much. I was working just like all day, every day. And my only day off was Sunday. So I was and then on my day, yeah, I was working like every freaking day. Yeah, my only day off was Sunday. So anyway, back to the story. So because I thought, no, we went to Vegas and then we came back and then I started working or whatever. And anyway, I started feeling like really sick. I was like freaking hella tired. I was like always like hungry, but certain things I was like disgusted. But I didn't really pay attention to it. I thought I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe because I'm working so much and I'm eating hella bad. Maybe that's why I feel like this. I'm like just super exhausted and tired. And I remember there was like a couple times that I almost slept asleep behind the wheel because I would commute home an hour. So it'd be an hour to San Jose and an hour back to my house, which was, I was living at my mom's house at the time in Bay Point. And oh my god, it was so hard. Like, I remember thinking like, what the hell, like, why do I feel like this? And the first month, because I was working at Paul Mitchell as an educator for maybe almost 3 months. It really sucked because I really liked it, and it sucked to leave that job. But so the first month everything was like fine. The first month and a half everything was fine, and then towards the second month I just started feeling hella weird. But I was like, you know what, maybe I'm just stressed. Like, I just have a lot going on. Like, I don't have a break. I was just exhausted. But one of my coworkers, she already has like kids that are older. One of them I think is like my age, and she's like, I don't know, I have a feeling you're pregnant. So anyway, one day in the morning I ended up taking a pregnancy test. She kept telling me like, you need to take one, you need to take one. I'm like, no, I don't think so, I'm not pregnant. You know, I was hell of in denial because it just happened before hella times. You know, when you get your like scared moments and you're like, no, I'm not pregnant. So anyway, so I took the test like right in the morning, because they say like right in the morning, that's like the best time to take the test. So I took it in the morning, and I just remember putting the test down, and I was like, nah, this is not, nah, like I'm not gonna even like trip about it. I'm not gonna be pregnant. So I like take my time or whatever, and I like look at the test, and I can see a line, and the line was very faint. So I was like, no, this isn't. And keep in mind, the tests were brand new, they were not expired or anything. But in my mind I was like, no, like you can barely see it. I'm not gonna be pregnant, like I'm fine. So then I tell my boyfriend, and my boyfriend's like, nah, you're tripping, like, whoops. He's like, you're tripping, you're not pregnant. But just to be sure, if you're kind of like scared, then make an appointment to the doctor and go get a test there just to be sure, because sometimes like tests can be wrong, whatever. So I went in for urinalysis, and they called me for my results, and they're like, we're gonna have to have you come in and take a blood test because it was like neither negative or positive. And I'm like, what the hell? So that's when I start hella tripping. I'm like, okay, this is hella scary. What the fuck? Usually I don't trip about it, but I was like, okay, that's kind of scary. So I remember I go in for a blood test, and I'm like hella nervous. That's when I start tripping out. Now I'm like, fuck, like if I'm pregnant, what am I gonna do? Like I'm barely starting with my career, you know. I fucking love teaching. Like what am I gonna do? And then I thought about my mom, because my mom's hella traditional. She's like a traditional ass Mexican mom. Like my mom's hella cool, but fuck, at the time I was 22, and I was like, fuck, my mom's gonna kick my ass. Like what am I gonna do? Like, you know, you start tripping like my life is over. Anyway, so when they called me from the clinic for my results, I couldn't answer. At the time I was with the client, and oh my god, I still remember that day. I was with the client, and I got a voicemail. This is when she was processing, and I got a voicemail, and the voicemail was like, yeah, we have your blood results, whatever, congratulations, you're pregnant. Oh my god, like I couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, this is not real. I like fucking froze. I froze, and I was like, oh my god, like what the fuck, what am I gonna do? I just started like bawling my eyes out. I started crying, and oh my god, I still remember. It feels like freaking yesterday. So I was, and the first person to know was one of my coworkers. He saw me like crying, and he's like, what's wrong? And I told him, I was like, I'm pregnant, I don't know what the fuck to do. And I was like, okay bitch, get it together, you have a client out there, like, you know. And I didn't want to tell like a lot of people at the time. So after that happened, after work, I went to my boyfriend's house, and he actually texted me. He's like, so what they tell you? And he's like, you know, that I was pregnant, whatever. So to cut to the chase, I get to his house. I'm like fucking hella crying, look like shit, my eyes are hella fucking swollen, I'm hella greñuda. Oh my god, I was a fucking mess. So I get to his house, and he's like running outside. It was hella fucking dramatic. He was running outside, and he's like, are you serious? And I play the voicemail, and he's like, fuck. And it made it even worse. Like, I know he wasn't trying to be negative, but it made it even worse that he was like, fuck. Like, so I remember hella crying or whatever, and he's like, we're gonna get through this. And I was like, oh my god. I was, you know, at the time, I'm not gonna lie, like when you're not planning to have a baby, like a baby's a blessing and stuff, but at the time when you know, I was doing so much with my career, and I don't know, I was so happy at the time. I felt so independent. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm getting this money, you know. I felt hella good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like my life was over, and I was hella depressed. I was hella tripping. I was like, fuck. And it's just so much change, you know. Your life just fucking changes so quick, but it changes for the best. But After that, we hella went to go get tacos and it made it all better. But when we told my mom, oh my God, like when we told my mom, I couldn't even tell my mom. He told my mom and he was like happy about it. And I was actually gonna tell my mom until the day I moved out my house because him and I got our own place. And I was gonna tell her like literally the day we were gonna move out, but I'm like, no, that's hella fucked up. Like everybody kept telling me, you need to tell your mom, that's like fucked up. And so we told her and she was just like, you know, take care of her, make her happy. And anyway, so my mom was like really upset with me for a couple weeks. Not even a couple weeks, a couple days, what am I saying? A couple days. And then she got over it. And you know, throughout my pregnancy, my mom and I got super fucking close, like so close. Like I can talk to my mom about anything. Our relationship got so much better. Like if anything ever happens, I always go to my mom. Like my mom's my best friend. So anyway, so my pregnancy was hella tough though. Like I'm not trying to complain. Everybody is so different. I respect, maybe, you know, I hear people that are like, you know, my pregnancy was so easy. You know, that's fucking awesome. But my pregnancy was terrible as fuck. So I had everything. I had nausea. I had round ligament pain, fucking hella bad. And then at 6 weeks, I almost lost my daughter. I was working at the salon and I got cramping. I started to get cramping and I went to the restroom and I had blood. So that was hella fucking scary. And at first it was light bleeding, and one of my clients, I have a couple clients that are nurses there. They work with like the labor and delivery, and they were telling me, oh, you know, if you spot a little bit, it's totally normal. I read it online, it's normal. But it was really scary. That day was super scary because at first, you know, I went to the restroom and it was just a little bit of blood. And I was like, okay, like I'm going to be fine. I told my client, she's like, you're fine. You know, your body's getting used to it, your hormones, yada, yada. I was like, okay. After I finished her service, I went to the bathroom again and I started getting hella bad cramps. I was like, what the fuck? Like, getting my period? I thought I was pregnant. I don't know, I started to get scared and I went to the bathroom and I had hella blood and I was like, oh my God, like am I having a miscarriage? Like I've never been pregnant before, ever. So it was hella scary, like just seeing that blood. I was like, oh my God. And I don't know, I've never gone through this. So I went to one of my coworkers and she's like, go to the ER. I went to the hospital there for hella fucking hours in pain. I couldn't even sit down from the pain. I had pain in my stomach, pain in my back. It was fucking terrible. And I remember getting so pissed off because, I mean, I don't know what people feel. Like, obviously, if you go to the emergency room, there's something that's fucking wrong with you, obviously. But I remember seeing a chick on her phone, like, I don't know, she was in there waiting to get in. She looked fine to me and they like took her in, you know, sooner than me, and I was crying so bad for the pain. Like it was like sharp knives on my stomach. So anyway, they told me I had a, fuck, what was it called? A hemorrhage on my placenta, which is basically a tear and under my placenta underneath. And they told me that if that doesn't heal, if I keep bleeding, then I'm gonna lose a baby. So hearing that, I was like, fuck, like I just found out I was pregnant. I had to quit my Paul Mitchell job. It was a lot of shit that went down. So anyway, the doctor told me that there's nothing I can do about it, that it happens. It's just, you know, you didn't cause it. Like, it's just something that happens. So it was so fucking hard to hearing that. And I told him, is there anything I can do to like prevent it? And, you know, I didn't want to lose my baby. And he's like, no, you know, you can still go shopping. You can still go to work. I was like, what the fuck? I'm in hella pain. How the fuck am I going to go shopping? And how the fuck am I going to work? I can barely fucking walk. So one of the nurses, after he left, one of the nurses was like, don't listen to him, like rest up, don't bend over, don't do nothing, just do bed rest. So I was on bed rest for 4 days, and thank God I was able to get through my pregnancy. I had a lot of, my pregnancy, like I said, was very, very hard. After that, I had a lot of pain. Oh my God, nausea was just, my belly was stretching. It was so painful. I had like these sharp ass fucking pains. Nausea was fucking crazy. Like everything made me fucking puke. My boyfriend's cologne was disgusting. I had to hide it. I don't know, it was so fucking tough. Like I didn't think obviously pregnancy is not going to be an easy thing, but I didn't think it was going to be as fucking miserable as it was for me. It was fucking terrible for me. So, what else happened? Just that. Nausea was fucking terrible. I was hella tired all the time. And I stopped working almost, March. So I was due in April, and I stopped working in March. Oh, let me rewind real quick. So in the beginning of my pregnancy, because it was so much change, like I was going through, moving out my mom's house, moving in with my boyfriend, and then quitting my job at Paul Mitchell, I was so happy to be there, and I felt so accomplished to be able to teach students, share my knowledge. I was learning from them. It was so fucking depressing, and like just feeling what I was feeling through my pregnancy, and then just all that transition, it was so fucking depressing. Like I was so depressed, so fucking depressed in the beginning of my pregnancy. It was terrible. Maybe for like 4 months I was depressed. Like I missed my mom. I missed everything how it used to be. I knew things were gonna be the same, things were gonna be different, and it was just a lot, and when I moved out with my boyfriend, I was planning to move in with him later in the future, but I don't know, I wanted to do things the right way. You know how your mom's like, you quiero que te cases, I want you to get married, I want you to have, a beautiful wedding, yada yada, you deserve that. So I kind of wanted that too at the moment, I was like, you know what, like, I don't know, it was just a lot of fucking change at once, and I was so depressed, and I missed my house. And let me tell you this, if you lived at your parents' house, or you live at your parents' house, fucking value that shit. Because once you move the fuck out, or you have kids, you will miss it. I fucking miss living at my mom's house. I miss everything. I miss her cooking. I miss her fucking yelling at me. Like, I miss everything. But it did definitely help our relationship. I'm so much closer to my mom. But fast forward. So I was due April 16th, which was Easter. April 16th, 2017. And I went past my due date. I was so fucking like ready to have the baby. I was so fucking annoyed. Like I was tired as fuck. My mom was like, do you feel anything? Do you feel anything at all? Nope. Fucking Easter, my due date, I was just fucking eating. I was just craving shit. Nothing, no contractions. I was obsessed with looking at these videos, the labor and delivery stories. I would watch vlogs, labor vlogs. I was like, oh my God, like I'm ready to fucking have her. I want to meet her. I was so anxious. I just wanted to get it over with. I kept going to my OBGYN, maybe like 3 appointments. And every time I kept going in, he's like, the first time he's like, I don't think you're gonna have to come in, like you're gonna have her, naturally. So I went 3 times, and the third time he's like, okay, you're gonna get induced. So I got induced, or I had an induction date planned for the 22nd of April. So I went in, I was fucking ready to have this baby. I was so over being pregnant. I just wanted to meet her. I was fucking tired. She was so big, you know, and when they're hella big already, when you're like hella big, almost like ready to pop, you feel fucking like the baby's so heavy, and then when they move it hurts like under your ribs, like when they kick, like it hurts so fucking bad. So I was just over. I was exhausted. I couldn't sleep anymore. Like towards the end I was exhausted, and everybody was like, yeah, get as much sleep as you can because you're not gonna be able to sleep when she comes. I couldn't fucking sleep. So I went in on my induction day. I had my little hospital bag and everything ready. I was like excited, fucking nervous. I was like, oh my god, I'm scared it's gonna hurt. And I went in for my appointment, and the doctor checked me, and she's like, oh, you're dilated. I wasn't having any contractions. I wasn't even feeling any pain. I didn't fucking know I was in labor already. So, and I did not walk during my pregnancy at all. I was fucking lazy as fuck. I was always laying down. My mom's like, si no caminas, you're not gonna have the baby. You're gonna have a terrible labor. So yeah, my fucking labor was terrible though. So I went in, and the doctor was like, okay, so we can send you home, or we can send you home, and we can see if your labor progresses, like if you know, become more dilated, or we can do a little balloon, like the balloon they insert you if you want to do more natural, or they give you I think a Pitocin, or they give you a pill. Yeah, I think so. So I was like, no, let's do the balloon. I want to do more natural. I want to see if I progress naturally. So she gave me the balloon. That shit fucking hurt so bad. Like I started getting, like, the way I can describe contractions, like it was making me get contractions. It was fucking so painful when she put that shit in. Like, I don't know. It fucking hurts so bad. Like, even when they check you, when they put their fingers up your freaking cooch, like, it hurts so fucking bad. Unless you're sexually active in your pregnancy, sorry, this is kind of, I'm just keeping it real. Unless you're sexually active, that probably won't hurt, but I wasn't, so yeah, it fucking hurt so bad. So she put that balloon thing in there, and I started getting contractions, and my contractions were getting pretty close, and it hurt so, it felt like fucking like the worst period cramps ever, and oh my god, it was just unbearable as fucking pain. And when I had the full balloon, I think I had some, no, I didn't have medication yet. No, not yet. I went to the bathroom, and it's supposed to come out by itself once your cervix opens a little bit. So I went to the bathroom, and it fell out, and I was like, oh shit, they're gonna have to put that shit back in, fuck. So I was kind of tripping, and I saw that my mucus plug came out when I went to the bathroom. So I went back to bed, and I was like, oh my god, like fuck, they're gonna put it back in. And I told the nurse, and she's like, no, like you don't need it back in. And so the nurse was like, you ready to start Pitocin? So I thought they weren't gonna induce me, but they ended up inducing me. And they say your labor sucks way more if you don't, like if you get induced. So they put the Pitocin in, and it started with a low dose, and I started getting like fucking many ass contractions. I was like, fuck man, like. So they checked me, and I was little dilated. I think when I went in the hospital at first, I was at 3 centimeters, and with the balloon it helped me dilate till 3.5 or 4. 3.5 or 4, something like that. And then with the Pitocin, I think I got at 4.5. Yeah. So they kept upping my Pitocin, and it was, oh my god, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fucking little bitch when it comes to pain. I don't give a fuck. Like, when it comes to even when I have my own period cramps, I cannot stand that fucking pain. Okay, that's me. If you guys can fucking stand that shit, good for you, but fuck no, like, I can't stand that pain. I had fucking badass contractions. I was like, fuck. And the lady was like, do you want your epidural already? Because I was like, my birth plan, when I first talked to the doctor, he asked me, he's like, do you want an epidural? I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, I'm not gonna try to act like I'm hella fucking tough over here, especially with Pitocin. Oh, fuck no. So, but I wanted to get my epidural when I was like around 6, just a little closer, just so it doesn't wear off, because I did not want to feel shit. So I was like, no, what other options do I have? So they gave me this like pain medicine through the IV that kind of helps soothe your pain, but it wears off. They can give it to you twice and that's it, like 2 doses and that's it. So the first time, like, it fucking helped. It felt so fucking good. I was like, yes, like, fuck yeah, like, I feel hella good, like, I feel hella numb, like, you feel hella good. And then after a couple minutes, like maybe 30 minutes, it wore off, and I was gripping onto the bed so hard. I was crying. It was fucking unbearable ass pain. Oh my god, like, it was fucking terrible, dude. Like, I felt like I was so out of it. Like, I was just out of it, dude. It was fucking terrible. Like, you're not yourself when you're in that much pain. So then I was like yelling to the nurse, like, I need something for this pain, like, I can't fucking take it. She's like, do you want your epidural? And I'm like, no, like, am I dilated even more? And she checked me. I wasn't. Oh my god. And like I said, every time they fucking check you, it hurts like a fucking bitch. Like, you want to fucking grab someone and choke them, like, from the pain. So I wasn't dilated enough. Well, for me, I wanted to be like a 6, at least. And I wasn't dilated, so I was like, no, give me more of that shit, whatever. They gave me more of that stuff. I forgot what it's fucking called. They gave me more of that stuff through the IV. It only lasted like 20 minutes. After that, I was like, fuck. I started feeling fucking hella pain. Like how I can explain the pain that I felt. It was like stabbing. It was like period cramps. It was like fucking when you gotta take a dump, but you can't. When you're hella fucking constipated and you can't. It was like a fucking mania-ass pain. Like, the pain I felt, I felt like I wanted to fucking die. I kept saying, I want to die. Like, it's fucking terrible, and I'm not trying to scare anybody from getting pregnant or whatever. This is just my experience, and I'm just fucking speaking on my experience, how I felt. So if your labor was hella different, that's you. But it fucking hurt. And I went from fucking 4.5. Oh, and I was yelling to the nurse, like, I feel the head. Like, can I push? And she was like, no, you can't push. And I was like, I fucking need to push. Like, I feel the head. I felt so much fucking pressure, like, and so much pain. It was crazy, dude. So then the doctor comes in and she's like, nah, you're not at a 10. Like, because I was at a 4.5, and it was like, not that long ago. Like, within a couple minutes, I went from 4.5 to a fucking 10. And she checked me down there, and she's like, okay, yeah, you have to push. So there was hella people just running in, like hella nurses. Everybody was just setting up, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't sign up for a fucking natural labor. Like, I need some fucking pain meds. I need my epidural. What the fuck? Like, no. So I was like, I need my epidural. She's like, there's no time, like, you have to push. And I was like, fuck no, like, I need my fucking epidural. I was fucking crying. I was screaming. My boyfriend was trying to hold my hand, and I was like fucking gripping it so hard. I wanted to rip his fucking greñas out his head. Poor him. I felt so bad. My mom was crying. I had my mom and my 2 sisters in there, my 15-year-old sister and my 21-year-old sister, and my mom was in there, and my boyfriend. My mom was crying, and she's like, you gotta push. Like, she held my hand. You gotta push. You can do this. I'm like, no, shut up. Like, I wasn't trying to be rude to anybody, but just in the pain that you're in, you just don't give a fuck. Like, I kept saying, I want to die. It was fucking just crazy. And my boyfriend, he's like, oh my god, I feel so bad for him. And I was just like screaming at the nurses. I was like, I need my epidural. And one of the nurses was like, okay. She went to go check if the guy was, the anesthesiologist, or what is it, the anesthesiologist? I don't know. The guy that does epidural, she went to go look for him, and she came back. And I was like in so much fucking pain. And those breathing techniques do not fucking suit you, okay? When my boyfriend's like, breathe, or the nurse, I was like, fucking shut the fuck up. Like, no, don't fucking talk. I was pissed. I was in pain. It was fucking crazy. I felt like a fucking possessed ass bitch. Like, I didn't feel like myself. Like, whoops. So I was having like fucking mania pain, like you want to fucking die. The hell? It was like having like mania pain, like you want to fucking die, and then you have to stay still. Like if you're getting fucking stabbed in your cooch, you feel your fucking bones opening up. I was already at a fucking 10. I was basically in active labor, and I had to fucking stay still. It was so fucking hard. I was like, no, I don't want to. It was fucking crazy. He finally got that epidural in. And once I got that epidural, I was like, I don't feel this shit's not working. Like, it's not fucking working. I laid down for a bit. And all I remember is I laid down and I felt hella fucking good. I was numb as fuck. I didn't feel it anymore. And the nurse was like, I'm gonna let you rest a little bit. You know, she felt hella bad for me. She's like, this bitch is in hella pain. Like, I feel hella bad for her. So she let me rest for a couple hours. She let me rest for a couple hours. What the fuck am I saying? She let me rest for a couple minutes, and then she woke me up. She's like, are you ready to push? And I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Like hella normal, hella calm. And I was like, I'm so sorry for being a bitch. I said sorry to everyone. I'm like, I was in so much pain. I just, I couldn't fucking take it. And they were like, no, don't be sorry. And I was like, I'm sorry, Mom. Like, I don't want to talk to you like that. I'm so sorry. So anyway, like I started pushing. I pushed for about an hour. My nurse was bomb as fuck. And then they switched to another nurse. And I was hella sad because that shit was hella cool. They switched to another nurse, and I did not fucking like her. Like, she kind of fucking ruined my labor. So I plan to record my labor for me, not to share for anybody, but just for as a memory of how my daughter was born. And I even signed a form, and they were like, saying a form of consent that they let me record the labor, just as long as it's not a C-section or nothing's wrong with the baby, no fucking tripods, obviously, that I'm able to record. So that nurse, my sister was recording, and that nurse was like, you can't record. I was fucking pissed off, but I was in labor. I was fucking pushing my daughter out. I was not about to fucking argue with someone over that shit. But anyway, I pushed for about an hour, and my daughter was born April 23rd at 7:31 p.m. And that moment when she was born, they put her in my arms, and it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe that was my daughter. She latched on right away, and it was the best feeling ever. And from there, my life has changed, and it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me, regardless of all the things I've gone through and went through and all the changes. I don't regret having her. She's the best thing that ever happened to me, and I love being a mom. It's fucking hard as fuck, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's not about you no more. It's 100% about your daughter. I fucking be looking like shit. Today I did my makeup, and that's a fucking miracle. But it's hard, and every baby's different. My baby sleeps throughout the night. Thank God she's getting better. But it is fucking hard being a mom, but it's the best feeling ever. I love her so much. But yeah, that was my pregnancy and labor delivery story. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and request other videos you would like to see. And hopefully I will see you soon. Bye. Thank you for watching.